Hello and welcome. So I wanted to go over what we did today in class with Inkscape. And so I'm making a quick little video to show it to you. So the first thing, let's say, what is Inkscape? Inkscape is basically a vector program that helps you do things that you could do on Illustrator but don't want to pay for Adobe Illustrator. So let's see what you can do. Basically, today's end product, we will have a good understanding of how to manipulate some of the basic parts of Inkscape, and then create a digitized version of your superhero emblem. So let's get to it. So I opened up Inkscape. I'm going to go under File, and I'm going to go under Document Properties. Once I'm under Document Properties, I'm going to turn this into inches, and we can make this maybe 8.5 by 11 or whatever size that we're working on. So there you go. After you have that, we're going to come over to make the grid. Would you want a grid? Somebody new. We're going to do inches, and 0, 0 is a good place. We'll do 0.25 and 0.25, and then let's make an every grid market for which would make that an inch. Everyone feel good about that? All right, I come down here, I'm gonna zoom in. The first thing that we ask you to do is to make a box that is 1 inch by 1 inch. So you can take the little create rectangular box. I'm gonna click it right about there and make it go to about there. If I come over here and make this into inches, I can then click on my box and it will tell me how big it is in inches. And it's 1 by 1. Awesome. We then played with this box by changing its color. So I'll make it a little bigger. We come down here and here's all these little colors. I can right click on it and I can set it the stroke. The stroke is the outside. So like if I make the stroke red, you can see it a little better. And the inside is what we call the fill. I think Tucker likes the fill to be blue and the stroke to be red. We're not sure why, but there is your box. The next thing that we asked you to do was to copy this box. So I'm going to take this box. Note that I'm here under this little thing. I'm going to take it, copy it. I'm going to hit Control C, Control V. And now we have 2 boxes. I'm going to overlap them, and we're going to want to click this one and hold Shift and click the other one. So now both of these are highlighted, selected if you will. And then we're going to go to Object, just kidding, we're going to go to Path, and we're going to make a union. The union makes this one piece, so now it's just one cool box. That's almost impossible to undo. So if you want to make it to where you can undo it, I'm going to Control Z, so I go out. You can click both boxes, and you can go into Object, and you can group them. And so now they're grouped together, but they're still 2 objects, and you can go into Object and, of course, ungroup them. So depending on what the object is, and if you want to ever get it back out, you might use Union. Recall Union is under Path. Or you might use Object and go down to group them. All right. So there is our cool box that we, or I don't know, shape that we've made. From there, Mr. Tucker asked you to make a snowman. So I will quickly make a snowman. So I've made some circles. And then I'm going to come over here and click the arrow button, the selector, so that I can put this how I like it. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and make this all one. So I'm going to union it. If that's a word. There we go. You can do all sorts of things. If you want to give it buttons, we could make little buttons. Just kidding. Let's see. We could do this, make buttons. I can change this shape. Let's change the shape. Not shape, but color. So I'm going to make it, I don't know, pink. Light pink. That's really light, huh? Should I make it something else? How about that? Okay. And then I can take this here button that I've made, and I can copy it a couple times, and then I can go look at the buttons. We did ask you to maybe cut out the eyes. If you want to cut out the eyes, I could take one of these buttons, make it an eye, and if I click, or if I've selected the circle, shift and select this guy, I can then go under path and I can take the difference and it'll cut the eye out. Does that make sense? So I've taken one of these eyes, or one of these circles, and I can set it there. I can highlight both this and the snowman, and I get a path, and I'm going to take the difference. Poof. Alright, so the next step he asks you to do is to make a nose on that. So I'm going to click here, make sure this is on 3, make a cool little one here. I can click this, we can shrink it up, we can make it orange if you want. It's going to look terrible. There you go. A little glitchy, sorry. So make that orange. There you go, good enough for my brain. We're then going to make a little top hat. So I take a square, I'm going to make this black. That looks terrible, I know, so I can clean it up after I've made it. There you go. I'm going to take these two, I'm going to combine them together using our union. Of course, I had to have them both selected to make them a union. And I'm going to take that, I'm going to put that on top as it. Or like that. What do you think? Perfect. We'll go with that. All right. So the next thing we wanted to do is we wanted to be able to bring in an image, so and digitize it. So I am going to go to Paint, because Paint you just gotta love. And what Paint will do for me is it's going to allow me to bring in my image. And I can crop it and play with it and do other things into it. So you see it's a little dirty. I can take some of these little dots and I could erase them upon it. So I can take the eraser and I can clean it up. I could do other things as well. So, but I'm going to stay with that. And then I can take this, I can file and I can save it. Just as a little JPEG. This is called JScroll. And from there, I'm being interrupted. Rudely. Come on in. All right. So, from there, we're going to take that. No, come on in. We're going to take that image and place it in here. All right. So now that you have that file, we're going to go ahead, all cleaned up and nice and ready to go. Crop to the size you want it. We are going to go and we're going to import that. So you go to import, we come over, and there it is. And that is what I want. I click that, and I do want all these defaults. We can make it smoother, we could block it, we could do all sorts of different things, but it's kind of how I want it. So we want to look at it like that. Looks good. All right, so probably actually I'm going to go File New, because that looks really weird. So I go New. Don't want to save that? No. So this is still 8.5 by 11, I hope. So I'm going to go File, Imports, Imports, Jersky. So now it's nice and clean. I can take this. So this is going to be the cover of my notebook. So if I wanted it smaller, I could make it smaller. I can do whatever I wanted with it. Then I put it here, and it's ready to go. So once I have that, I do need to copy that, or I need to select that, excuse me. I then go to Path, and we're going to trace bitmap. Again, if you turn on live preview, you can see what it looks like. I can play with it and make it the thresholds different, and it will change it up. Maybe. If it's black and white, I guess it doesn't make much difference on that part. But you can play with it and change it around until you get to what you like. Once you like it, you hit OK. It does its thing. I come over here. I'm going to move this over. And you'll realize that this is our new piece. So I can take this and delete this. I think Tucker would like to take this, and once it's highlighted, he turned the stroke to go away, and he turned the fill into black. And so that's what we have. It looks great, and now it's ready to go to the laser printer. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to make this a PDF. PDF. Save it has something I know. I know this. Save it. This looks good. You can really up this, but it's all good how it is. Once it's saved, you'll take that PDF and we will laser cut your journal. Hope that helps and makes sense.